let's cover the chapter of registration in the GST. Some basics about it. Okay, as per charging section, that taxable person is liable to collect the tax. It means on intrastate supply, CGST plus SGST, on interstate supply, IGST, collected by the taxable person. Then who is taxable person? It means any person who is registered or who is liable to register. Section number 22 and 24. What it means? It means if any person is unregistered, then he can also be a taxable person if he is liable to register. Now question arises, who is liable to register? Section number 22 says person liable to register. If your turnover crosses 10 lakh, 20 lakh or 40 lakh in different states, then you have to take registration. You are liable to register. Section number 24 says compulsory registration. For those person cover here in this list, they have to take compulsory registration. Is it clear? Right. Some other points. In GST, registration need to be taken state-wise. If you are selling goods in Haryana, in Punjab, in Delhi, then you have to take registration in all the 3 states and under same pen. There is single registration for all the taxes, CGST, SGST, IGST and UTGST. Normally one state, one registration is required. Even more than 2 places of business in a state. However, taxable person can take separate registration. Right. What it means? Take example, you are selling Haryana shoes in one shop and selling the clothes in second shop. Now choice is yours. Either you can take a single registration for both the places because these are under the same state, or you can take separate registration for both the places. Choice is yours. Is it clear? Now, there are some advantages. You can just read it, not relevant for the exam purpose. Now, an overview of this chapter. 22 says person liable to registration. 24 says compulsory registration. 23 says person is not liable for registration. 25 says process for registration. 26 deregistration. 27 special provision for the casable taxable person and the non-resident taxable person. 28 amendment of registration, like changing the email address, mobile number, partner. And 29 says cancellation or suspension. 30 says revocation of cancellation. Means again starting of that registration that was cancelled earlier. Okay, let's start with section number 22. So, person liable for the registration. So every supplier of goods, services obtain the registration where state from where taxable supply is made. Right. When if your aggregate turnover crosses the specified limit in a financial year. In different state it is different. Now, definition of turnover include the all India basis under the same pen. Again, this is same like composition scheme. It include the taxable supplies, exempt supply. It include the nil rate, wholly exempt, non-taxable, interstate supply, export of goods and services. Now, plus your outward supply under the RCM like advocate, then it will be counted here. Advocate services. Now, supply between the distinct person. If you are sending some goods and services to your own branch, then it will also be counted here. Okay, supply on behalf of principal. Now, see this. Agent. Now, agent are of 2 types. Agent issuing the own invoice, then he will be covered under the schedule 1, point number 3. Then he has to take compulsory registration under section 24. If that agent not issuing the own invoice, he is giving the principal's invoice. Now, take the case 1 and case 2. His own supply is 5 lakh in both the cases, but he is selling on the behalf of principal under the invoice of principal 10 lakh and the 18 lakh. Okay, supply made on behalf of principal, counted in turnover of agent. Okay, assume the turnover threshold is 20 lakh rupees. So it is 15 lakh, threshold not crosses, then no registration. Here it is 23 lakh, 18 plus 5. Now he is required to register under GST. What it means? It means that turnover of 10 lakh and 18 lakh that he is selling on the behalf of principal and giving the invoice of the principal, right? Then is includable in the principal plus agent turnover both, under both. Okay, is it clear? Right. Now, it exclude the inward supply under RCM, like you are taking the GTA services, advocate services, or taxes including the cess under GST. CGST, SGST will not be counted for the turnover purpose, right? Note, if principal sending some goods to a job worker for some job work, and that job worker supply the goods post completion to buyer. Now, so that turnover, that sale made by the job worker will not be counted for the job worker. It will be counted for the principal only, right? Now, specified threshold limit for the registration. See here. So, MT Nagbani, USA PTM and the remaining state. So these are the special category state. Normally these are the MT Nagbani is same and USA JM in Himachal. USA JM in Himachal, as we read earlier. USA JM in Himachal. But for this chapter purpose, there is USA and PTM instead of JM in Himachal. This is same and USA is same. Instead of JM in Himachal, there is PTM. Okay, remember this. So MT Nagbani, Mizoram, Tripura, Nagaland and the Manipur, their limit is 10 lakh for goods, for services, for both. Okay, for USA PTM, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, Puducherry, Telangana and the Meghalaya, goods, services or both, the limit is 20 lakh rupees. For remaining state, if you are selling only, supplying only services, then 20 lakh limit. If both, then 20 lakh limit. If intrastate goods, then 20 lakh limit. Only supplying the intrastate goods, then 40 lakh limit. And there is also a star, means for some goods the limit will be 20 lakh. Okay. So here some points to consider for the threshold purpose. Person considered making the supply of goods, even supply of service provided by the way of such as interest, discount on the loan advances. Person providing the service of interest, charging the interest. Now, we count it as only you are selling the goods. You are selling goods and not supplying any services. Then, if you are making the intrastate supply, then the benefit of 40 lakh will be available to you. We will not count that you have made a supply of interest here. Okay. Now, 40 lakh. 1 second, please. Here is star. Now see here. That 40 lakh limit, that 40 lakh threshold is not available. Means 20 lakh or 10 lakh available. For person required to take compulsory registration. So under section number 24, there are some exception given. So for that purpose, that limit will be 20 lakh or 10 lakh, not 40 lakh. Person engaged in manufacturing of these items like ice cream, pan masala, tobacco, fly ash bricks, building bricks, fossil mills and bricks and earthen fuels, then limit is 20 lakh or 10 lakh. As we read under the chapter of composition, the name are same. Okay, these names are same. Now, if more than one place of business covering more than one state, then lowest threshold applicable to any of those states will be relevant. Let's take example. If you are selling your goods from the Telangana and Haryana. In Haryana, the limit is 40 lakh, but in Telangana, the limit is 10 lakh. Now, in that case, the limit will be applicable to you is 10 lakh, not 40 lakh. That lowest limit will be applicable. But remember that it is applicable only when you are making the taxable supply from Telangana. Okay, if you are making the exempt supply here, then limit will be 40 lakh only. Okay. However, state make only the exempt supply won't be considered. Okay. Registration is required to made only in the state from the taxable supply is made. If any state from which you are selling the goods non-taxable like only petroleum or exempt supply, then in that case, in that state you have not to take registration. Okay. In case of transfer of business due to succession, death or change in ownership to another person as a going concern, then in that case that transferee successor to be registered from the date of transfer of the succession. Just read it, not relevant for example purpose. Business transfer due to two company amalgamation or demerger, then that transferee to be registered from the date of certificate of incorporation by the ROC. Okay, these are relevant for the MCQ purpose only, these 2 points. Now, there are some example. Ram Traders Haryana selling the intrastate shoes and their turnover is 30 lakh. Then no required registration because the threshold is 40 lakh here. Okay. Second example, Modi Limited Haryana makes the intrastate supply of the goods and services both. So the limit will be 20 lakh and their turnover is 25 lakh. They have to take registration under the Haryana, right? Now, Salman Traders has one shop in Nagaland. Their turnover is 11 lakh. And the second shop in the Haryana and turnover is 28 lakh for supply of bags. Okay. Now the threshold will be the 10 lakh. Okay. Now, so they have to register under the both states. The fourth point says the Shivam Enterprises supplies the taxable goods intrastate in Punjab, 28 lakh turnover. Has a shop for alcohol liquor for human consumption in Mizoram, 14 lakh turnover. The limit is 10 lakh, but it will not be applicable because from Mizoram I am selling only the non-taxable goods, exempt goods. Okay, so in that case that limit will be the 40 lakh, but this is exempt supply, it will be counted under this, means 28 lakh plus 14 lakh, it will be 42 lakh. Now registration is required. Is it clear? Now registration is required. But for the Mizoram, no registration. Okay, only for the Punjab. Now, this is already covered. Let's remove this. Okay. See here, 24 compulsory registration in Hindi होना ही पड़ेगा. Now, I5 correction. This is memory technique to learn this. I5 correction. First point says I means person making the interstate supply, taxable supply. Then they have to take compulsory registration. This point is clear. Now, second point, 5. So I is interstate supply. By 5, person required to pay tax under the 9(5) means ECO. Third services under chapter number RCM. Okay. Now by C means casual taxable person making the taxable supply. R means person liable to pay tax under the RCM. By E, ECO required to collect TCS like Amazon, or any person selling the goods and services from the Amazon, they will also register compulsory here. Okay. Now by A, person acting as the agent issuing the own invoice. By T, director of the tax means government department. By I, input service distributor, ISD. By O, supplier of OIDAR services from place outside India. By N means non-resident taxable person. So I5 condition. There are some exceptions given here, that supply of taxable services up to 20 lakh and 10 lakh is allowed interstate. Notified handicraft goods, handmade goods of 20 lakh or 10 lakh also allowed interstate. Right? Now for CTP, again notified handicraft goods या फिर handmade goods given up to 20 lakh or 10 lakh is allowed. For ECO, threshold available in case of services through ECO. If I am selling my lecture through any ECO like zeroinfit.com, right, then in that case I need not to register unless my threshold is crosses. Okay, this is benefit for the service provider. Right? Now this is new addition for the supplier of goods. They also need not to take registration when if persons making the supply of goods to the ECO who is required to collect the TCS under section 52 means Amazon, Flipkart. Now having the turnover in preceding financial year and in the current financial year is not exceeding the threshold means any person supplying the goods through the Amazon through the ECO and his turnover in the last year and the current year is not crosses the threshold limit. Now he need not to take registration if he fulfill these 7 conditions. So just read it. Shall not make any interstate supply. If he is selling through the Amazon, he is not making any interstate supply. Shall not make any supply of goods through the ECO in more than one state. Means he is selling only in Haryana. Okay, only in one state. Now shall be required to have a PAN card. Now shall before making any supply of goods through the ECO declare on the common portal their PAN and address of the place of business and state and duty. They have to provide their PAN on the GST portal. Now 5th point is have been granted the enrollment number on the common portal on successful validation of the PAN number. No supply without it. Means there is no GST in, there is enrollment number to make supply through the ECO. Now shall not be granted more than one enrollment number in a state. Means only single number for the state. Now when his threshold is crosses 20 lakh or 40 lakh is crosses. Now where such person are subsequently granted registration in section 25, then enrollment number shall be ceased to be valid from the date of registration. Now that enrollment number will not work. Now you will get the GST. Right? This is simple. So if you fulfill these 7 points and your turnover for the last year and the current year is less than the threshold, then you can supply the goods through the ECO without taking a registration. Okay, This is allowed now. This is new addition, can be asked in exam. Okay. Now, section number 23 says person not liable for the registration. Person engaged in supply of non-taxable goods like alcohol or exempt supply, then need not to take registration even your turnover is in crores, right? Okay. Agriculturist, to the extent of supply of produce from the cultivation of land, then also no registration required. Person making supply of RCM only like GTA. Person making these 3 points are new. These 3 points are covered already above. Okay. So person making the interstate supply of services 20 lakh or 10 lakh. CTP making the interstate supply of handicraft goods, handmade goods 20 lakh or 10 lakh. Or person making the supply to the ECO of services, then 20 lakh or 10 lakh threshold is available. But there is a condition for the CTP. He has to provide the PAN number and generate the e-way bill for those handicraft goods and handmade goods. This can be asked in MCQ. So there are some example. Then there is the agriculturist is engaged in cultivation of wheat and trading the rice. He has to take registration because rice is not exempt. Okay. Agriculturist engaged in cultivation of wheat and run a dairy. Again, dairy is not exempt. Now, agriculturist takes land on rent and cultivation done by the servant. No. Registration is not required. Okay. That agriculture work either you are doing self, your family, or you have your servants. Doesn't matter. You need not to register for this purpose. Petrol pump selling the engine oils with petrol, then yes, required registration. In this example, we are assuming your threshold is crores. Okay. Now, 25. Process for the registration. See here. So, person liable to register in section 22 and 24, where in every state or UT in which he is so liable within the 30 days from date on which he become liable. If you are making supply from a territorial water, then you have to take registration in the coastal state. That means that nearest state. Now, for CTP and NRTP, so they have to register 5 days prior for the commencement of the business. 5 days before. Now, note that registration is required state-wise, not a central registration. Now, more than one place in a state, if you have taken the separate registration, then you have separate GST in. But if you have taken the single registration, then in that case you have to declare a place as a principal place of business. Okay, but it means another as a additional place of business. It means you have to choose your one place as a head office and other as a branch. Okay, for single registration for all the places. Is it clear? Right. So the PAN is mandatory for registration except NRTP. Can be granted registration on basis of passport or and for tedious purpose you can use the 10. If person taken the registration voluntary, then he has to pay the tax. If any unit in the SAG area and non-SAG area in same state, so this is Maharashtra state and there is a SAG area, there is one unit and there is one unit. Either because these are both in the same state, no requirement for the separate registration. But if one unit is in SAS, then they have to take separate registration for the both the places compulsorily. Okay. Now, person who is liable but fails to obtain the registration, then proper officer may register such person suo motu, means himself, on temporary basis in 90 days. Either that person submit the application for registration Okay, if not, he can file the appeal. Then decision of that appeal, if in favor of that person, then no registration. If against that person, then he had to apply it in the 30 days. That registration is effective from the date of order by the professor granting the registration. Okay. Effective date of registration. What is the effective date of registration here? Okay. Application filed for the from the liability date. Okay. Within 30 days. Then the date on which become liable to register. If after 30 days or voluntary taken registration, then the date of grant of registration. Okay. This is simple. You can just read the example. Now, what is the process? See here. Procedure applied to every person except NRTP, TDS deductor, TCS collector and the OIDAR service provider. Okay. You have to apply in the form number GST RG01. GST RG01. Part A. Part A include the PAN number, valid date, OLN by the CBDT database. Now, what will happen? Also verify the through the separate OTP sent to the mobile number and the email address linked to that PAN number. Comment that mobile number and email ID will not be any general one. That ID only linked with the PAN will be verified. Means that number, that email ID linked to your PAN card will be verified. Okay. Select the state and the UT. Upon submission of the part A, you will get a TRN, temporary reference number. Okay. Now use this TRN to open the part B. Now part B is open. Fill the details relating to the constitution of business. Proprietor, partnership firm, PPOB, APOB, goods and services, authorized signatory and Aadhaar authentication. Now, then acknowledgement generated and the application to be forwarded to the professor for the verification. For the bank details may be furnished after obtaining the registration certificate within 45 days or due date of filing the first return, whichever is earlier. This is not applied to the TDS, TCS and the CUA motor registration. They have to apply, they have to provide at time of registration. Okay, itself. Now, registration and the Aadhaar authentication means A. We call it A. Okay. So, what is purpose behind this? Aadhaar authentication A. To control the fake dummy address registration and the multiple registration. Because your Aadhaar card is connected everywhere. So it is easier to identify that fraudulent person. Okay. So this is for the person applying the first time. Then if you are individual, then you are himself. A will be done. If you are other person like HUF, then Karta. If company, then MD and WTD. If firm, then partner. If AOP, then member of managing committee. If trust, then board of trust. If other authorized representative. Should go through the A using their Aadhaar card. Okay. This is not applied to these person. These cover mainly the GST government department and the person non-resident and the government department. Okay. Person not the citizen of the India like NRTP or department of the state government, central government, local authority, statutory body, PSUs and person applying for the unique identity number like embassy and consulate. Now these are not required A. Now, for person already registered under GST, already registered under GST, this person shall go A for this purpose, to apply for the revocation of cancellation, for refund of IGST paid on the export of goods outside. So it means if they not undergone A, then this benefit will not be provided to them, okay. If fails registration, then became invalid. Also their registration became invalid. Now the main thing is here that registration and the Aadhaar authentication, okay. Now there are two options for the AA purpose. You have given your application and you are opted for the AA purpose. An application is not opted for the AA purpose. In that case, the date of application will be the date of submission of application, if you are not opted for the AA here, right? Now fill the part A and fill the part B. You opted for the A here. If your A is successfully done within the 15 days, then the date of application will be the date of A, okay. This is clear. This is A process, this is part A. Now this is second, this is B. Here you not opted for the A, you not opted for the A, right? Now if you undergone A but your A is failed, you failed to provide the OTP number within 15 days, then the date of application will be the 15th day from date of application. That is your last day for the A. Is it clear? Now you cover under the B part. If your A is failed, if you undergone A, even your A is successful, listen, even you undergone A and your A is successful, but you are identified under the data analysis and the risk parameter to carry out the site verification. That it means that GST department is using the AI. That AI identify your name and it's saying that there is some risk in your data. Okay, then you automatically shift to the part B. This process. This is B and this is A. This is clear. So what will be date of application in this case? What will be date of application in this case? So see below here, double star. Now applicant who opted for the A and identified on the common portal based on data analysis and the risk parameter, now shall be followed by biometric based Aadhaar authentication. He has to complete his biometric A using finger or eye test, etc., and taking the photograph of individual applicant or other person, like in case of HF Karta, in case of company MD, and along with the verification of the original copy. That document you provided earlier, you have to give the original copy of the documents uploaded with the GST application in RG01 at one of the notified GST center. Okay, you physically have to go there and provide this detail, your A, your document, all the things. When you complete all the things these, then your application deemed to be completed. Okay, that will be the date of application. That will be the date of application, right? Okay. So now this is A step, this is B step under A. So if there is no deficiency in the application, then your RC will be granted within the 7 days. If not, then it is deemed, it is provided to you. If there is deficiency, then you will get notice within 7 days and clarification by the applicant within the 7 days. If officer is not satisfied, then it is rejected. You have to apply again. If he is satisfied, then your RC granted within the 7 working days. If not, then deemed registration. Okay, this is clear. Now see here, no deficiency in the application, then in that case physical verification of your place of business, then they will come at your business place, or verification of the such document deemed fit by proper officer, and your RC will be granted within the 13 days from the date of application. Means from this date, or from this date, or from this date, within 30 days from date of application. If not, then deemed registration. Okay, so this is case of no deficiency. If there is deficiency, then notice within the 30 days from application and clarification by the applicant within 7 days. If satisfied, then granted RC within the 7 days. If not, then deemed. If not satisfied, then rejected, and you have to apply again with same process. Okay, this is clear. Now, goods and services identification number. It will be issued within the 3 days of the grant of RC. So you have to place it at the prominent location of your business place and display the GST in your name board. Okay. Now, grant of registration to the TDS deductor and TCS collector. So they have to apply in GST RG 07. Proper officer to take the action within the 3 days. If no physical presence in any state and UT, then mention the name of said state in part A or name of state of PPOB in part B. Both may be different. These can be different. Okay. Now, registration can be cancelled when your liability to collect the tax, deduct the tax is no longer. You can apply for the cancellation of that registration. In case of person already registered. Okay. If you are already registered, now you apply for the Aadhaar card, but still you have not get your Aadhaar card. Okay. So if the Aadhaar number is not assigned, then to alternate means has been prescribed below. They can provide their Aadhaar enrollment ID slip or their passbook with the passport, photograph, voter ID card, या passport or driving license. Anyone. Once your Aadhaar number is allotted, then you shall go A within the 13 days of allotment. Okay, this is allowed here. Now, deemed registration. That registration under SGST and UTGST is deemed to be registration under the CGST and the vice versa. And vice versa. And cancellation under the SGST and UTGST is deemed to be cancellation under the CGST. Means you need to register only under the one, that is SGST and UTGST. Okay. Now, this is important concept of the CTP and the NRTP. See here, if a person who occasionally undertake the transaction, whether as a principal, agent or the other capacity, we are talking about here for the CTP and the NRTP, casual taxable person or the non-resident taxable person. See here, CTP. So, a person who occasionally undertakes the transaction, whether as a principal, agent or other capacity, in a state or UT where he has no fixed place of business, in the course or furtherance of business, then he will be a CTP. But who has no place of business or residence in India, and business test is missing. This is not required here for NRTP. Okay, he is CTP and he is NRTP. Now, CTP, casual taxable person making the taxable supply. Okay, so a person is of Maharashtra. Okay, now he went to sell the goods in the Gujarat for temporary purpose. There is exhibition. Okay, he load his goods and went to the Gujarat for selling the goods in the exhibition for 2 days, 3 days, for a week, for a month. Okay, now except the handicraft goods. For this purpose, not required registration up to 20 lakh or 10 lakh. Now, NRTP. So again, there is a exhibition in India. Okay, a person coming from the foreign. Okay, for this exhibition, then he will be a NRTP. He has no fixed place of business in India and he is not resident of India, and business tax is missing here. Is it clear? Okay. Now see here. For CTP and for the NRTP. For CTP, that registration compulsory, and for NRTP it is also compulsory. 5 days before commencement of business. Same for him. Under form GST RZ01, under form GST RZ09. PAN is required. Here passport is required because he has no PAN card. So this scheme is not available for both ITC on the input services and the capital goods is available to the CTP. But to the NRTP, ITC only on the imported goods. Any goods he buys in India or service he buys in India, no ITC. Any goods, any service he imports from foreign country, no ITC. Only for the goods he imported. Okay, he will get the ITC. For other, not allowed. For other, not allowed. Right? Okay. Required to submit the advance tax at time of submission of the application. Same here. So, some other points that are their registration is valid for the time paid for applied for or max 90 days, whichever is lower. Further can be extendable by the 90 days, mean total 180 days. But if your exhibition is for more than 180 days, then in case of long running exhibition means more than 180 days, then it cannot be treated as the CTP or NRTP. Then have to take registration as a normal taxable person. Then they can surrender it later on when that exhibition is completed or ended. Is it clear? Simple? Okay. Now, 28. Amendment of the registration. So, there are some non-core fields and there are some core fields. Non-core fields, that can be your mobile number and email ID. These are non-core fields. It can be easily, approval is not required. Directly submit the application and your RC will be stands amended. Okay, no approval is required for your mobile number changing and for your email ID changes. If your PAN changes or your state changes, then in that case apply for the fresh registration because your registration is PAN based or your state based. Okay, and core field says that legal name of business, address, admit or remove any partner or director, then cover under the core fields. Apply within the 15 days of such changes. Okay, now that officer take the action within the 15 days. If notice reply within the 7 days, now that officer take the action within the 7 days. If reply is not satisfactory, then application is rejected. If you not get any reply within the 15 days and 7 days from that officer, it is deemed that it is amended. deemed to be amended. Okay, right. 29. It says cancellation or suspension of the registration. It can be voluntary or it can be by department suo motu. Okay. So when you himself cancel the registration, there are 4 points for this. If you discontinue your business or transfer to any person, if there is change in your constitution from proprietor to partnership firm, from partnership firm to company, and there is no longer liable to registration under the 22 and 24, your threshold is reduces, and you intend to opt out your voluntary registration, you can apply for the cancellation. Circumstances to cancel the registration by the department. So department cancel your registration in these cases. Okay. So your registration is cancelled by fraud. If you have taken it by fraud, then department can cancel it, voluntary register. That person is not commenced the business within the 6 months, then department can cancel it. If you are not filing the return, a composition taxpayer is not filed the return beyond the 3 months from due date. Contravened these provisions. Doesn't commence the business from registered place, violate the anti-profiteering provisions, doesn't provide the bank details, issue the invoice bill without supply of goods and services, avail the ITC in violation of the act. If you are monthly return filer and fails to file the return for a continuous period of 6 months, if you are quarterly return filer and fails to file return for the 2 tax period, then your registration can be cancelled by the department. Before cancelling the registration, that officer give you opportunity of the being heard always, right? Okay. Now, suspension of the registration. Now, your registration is cannot be cancelled directly. First, it will be suspended. Okay. You apply for cancellation or department cancel, it will not be directly cancelled. First, it will be suspended during pendency of the proceeding for such cancellation. To complete that paperwork and other work, for that period, it will be suspended, not cancelled. Okay. Now, what will be the date of suspension? If you apply, then date of submission or date from which cancellation is sought. Okay, whichever is later. If department cancel, then date determined by the proper officer for suspension. Now, while making the registration has been suspended, that person shall not make any taxable supply, means cannot issue a tax invoice, and required to file return, means no return. No return. Suspension shall be revoked upon the completion of cancellation proceeding. With effect from the date of suspension. It means that your suspension by department, but after completing the proceeding, it will find that there is no mistake by you. Then again, your registration will started. Now in that case, provision of the revised tax invoice and the first return will apply. Means those supply you have made during that period, you can issue the invoice for that for those goods after suspension is removed. Okay, you can again issue invoice for this supply later on. Now, where registration suspended due to non-filing of the return shall be deemed to be revoked upon filing of the all pending return. If you are not filing your return and your registration is suspended or cancelled, if you file a return, then it will be again working. It will again start working. Right? Okay. See here. Now, cancellation of the registration procedure. So, by registration person, by department. So, by register person, you have to apply within the 30 days of occurrence of the event. That officer issue the order of cancellation within the 30 days. Right? Detail to be submitted for the input held in stock, raw material, semi-finished goods and the finished goods and the capital goods. Because on date of that cancellation, you have to reverse the ITC. Reverse the ITC. Now, by department, give at least 7-day notice. Opportunity of being heard. Okay. If your reply is satisfactory, then drop the proceeding. If not, then order within the 30 days. However, if return filed due to non-filing, which action is taken, then drop the proceeding. Okay. So that taxpayer is not allowed to file return post cancellation. That registration can be cancelled by the retrospective effect, means from back date also. That cancellation doesn't affect the liability of registered person. Okay, if your money is pending, if your tax is pending of 10 lakh, if you cancel your registration, then it doesn't mean that you need to pay this. You have to pay this compulsory. Even your registration is cancelled. Okay, you compulsory have to pay this amount. Last second. Now, revocation of cancellation of registration. Now, it means again starting your GST number. Again starting your registration number that was cancelled earlier. Now, the process for revocation of cancellation when suo motu cancelled by the officer. Okay, within the 90 days. Plus commissioner or person authorized by him, AC or JC, can extend it by the 180 days, can be extended to the sufficient cause. Apply for revocation to proper officer, then that officer within the 30 days take the action. If satisfied, then revoke it. If not satisfied, then issue a showcase notice within the 7 days. Now clarification by the taxable person within the 30 days, then officer accept it or dispose of it. Okay. Now, third case is when registration was cancelled due to failure to file the return. That person has filed the all pending return along with all dues before apply for the revocation. See here, there are two cases, case A and case B. The date of order is effective date of cancellation. Okay. The date from which return not furnished. The date from which return not furnished. And the date of order of cancellation. And this is the effective date of cancellation. Is it clear? Now, you are coming for the revocation. You are requesting to revoke the cancellation. Okay. Now, that officer says, will not come to me unless until you have filed all these return. Come to me only when you file these return. Okay, from this period to this period. Return for this period to be filed before applying for the revocation. Okay, before applying for the revocation. And for this period can be filed within 30 days from the revocation order. This is clear. Case 1 is clear. Case 2. That registration is cancelled with retrospective effect. Means from back date. This is a date from which your return is not filed by you. This is the effective date of cancellation. Okay. This is date of order of cancellation. Okay, now you are coming for the revocation. Now that officer says, come, no problem. You need not to file any return to apply for revocation. Okay, no return is required. So return for this period, for entire period, to be filed after the 30 days, within 30 days from revocation order. Okay, within 30 days from revocation order, you can file return for all this period. Is it clear? Now, UIN, unique identification number, who specialized agency of the United Nations, any multilateral financial institution under the UN, consulate and embassy. So these can apply for the unique identification number. The purpose behind this is to obtain the refund of the taxes paid on supply of goods and services to them. So means any person supplying of goods and services to them. Okay, that embassy. So that embassy can apply for the refund of GST paid on that supply. GST paid on that supply. Using that UIN. And it is centralized. It is single for the whole India. Okay. What? Means centralized number, not state-wise. UIN holder, not registered person, hence no taxable person. How to get it? Submit the application plus recommendation from the Ministry of External Affairs and Government of India. Within 3 days of submission of application, that UIN will be allotted to embassy, UN and the consulate. Is it clear? Why? To get the refund of GST paid on supply made to them. Okay. Now, cover its question also. There is one question, that requirement of registration and turnover calculation case study. This is very, very important. See here. Mahadev Enterprises, a sole proprietorship firms, opened a shopping complex dealing in the supply of ready-made garment at multiple locations like Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Tripura in the month of June. Okay. It has furnished the following details regarding the supply made at time of such location in June month. Okay. So Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand and Tripura. In Himachal Pradesh, that limit is 40 lakh for goods. In Uttarakhand, the limit is 20 lakh. And in Tripura, that limit is 10 lakh. We know that. Okay. So intra-state supply of taxable goods in Himachal Pradesh and in Tripura. Intra-state supply of exempted goods in Tripura. Intra-state supply of non-taxable goods in Uttarakhand and in Tripura. What it means? It means in Uttarakhand, he is supplying only the non-taxable goods. Okay. Then no registration for the Uttarakhand. Okay. And limit is applicable is 10 lakh. Because in Tripura, he is supplying the taxable goods. The limit will be 10 lakh, not 40 lakh. Okay. With help of the example given above, answer the following question. Determine whether Mahadev Enterprises is liable to register under GST law and what is the threshold limit of taking registration. Okay. The threshold will be the 10 lakh, not 40 lakh. Okay. For Uttarakhand, not required. For Himachal Pradesh, required. And for Tripura is required. This is clear? This will be answered. See here. The answer of, so first explain the law. That limit of 10 lakh for the empty Nagmani, for 20 lakh for the USA PTM and remaining 40 lakh. Explain this. Okay. Now definition of turnover. Now answer of part 1. Part 1 says, so your turnover is for 56 lakh 90,000. Okay. And your threshold is 10 lakh. So he is not liable to register for the Uttarakhand because he is making only the non-taxable apply from here. This is clear? Okay. Now see the remaining parts. Okay. If Mahadev Enterprises is dealing exclusively in taxable supply of goods only from the Himachal Pradesh. Okay. What they are saying that he is selling only the taxable goods only from the Himachal Pradesh for 22 lakhs. Now the limit will be 40 lakh and no registration required. Okay, not required registration. The same is given here. See here. Answer of 2, part A. If Mahadev Enterprises is dealing in supply of goods only from the Himachal Pradesh, then threshold will be the 40 lakh and he is selling goods for the 22 lakh 3,000 rupees, then not required registration here. Now see the question number 2B. If Mahadev Enterprises is dealing in the taxable supply of goods and services only from the Himachal Pradesh. Okay, now this is goods and services. If he is supplying goods and services together from the Himachal Pradesh, then limit will be the 20 lakh. Okay. Now, so Mahadev Enterprises is dealing in the taxable supply of goods and services only from the Himachal Pradesh. Then higher limit of 40 lakh is not available. 20 lakh available and he is liable to registration because it crosses the 20 lakh. It is 22.5 lakh. This is clear. Why? Because it includes the goods and services. Then threshold will be the 20 lakh, not 40 lakh. Okay, remember this. Okay. Part C. Mahadev Enterprises is dealing in the taxable supply of goods only from the Himachal Pradesh and making the interstate supply of taxable goods. If he make the interstate supply, then he has to take compulsory registration. Okay, this is clear. See the answer. In case of interstate supply of taxable goods, then he has to take compulsory registration. Even your turnover is any amount, doesn't matter. You are liable for the registration. Okay, this is clear. The lecture is completed. So goodbye. Like this video, comment if you have any doubt, and share this video with your friends. Goodbye.